hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times.
Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie. Today I put together 25 of my best Christmas Dollar Tree DIYs for you. Lots of fun different themes and styles in this video. I kind of wanted to mix it up a little bit for you. We're going to get started first with my most popular Santa gnome. I'm using the little boots ornaments from the Dollar Tree, a sequin Santa hat. It doesn't have to be the sequin one. It's the only one I could find. And 2 of the white Christmas trees. And we're going to make the most adorable little Christmas tree gnome, and it could not be any easier. So first thing I'm going to do is just open up our Christmas trees, take those out of the package. I guess you could do it with 3 if you wanted, but I think 2 was plenty. And I'm just going to take the hanger or the stands off. And then I thought, you know what? I might as well save them. I can always use those for another DIY because, you know, crafters, you might need that someday, right? And so I go ahead and save those, put them aside. And then I am going to have these little boots. They're already kind of decorated for Christmas with a red sweater, the little like snowball pom-poms and all the fluff on them. They make perfect gnome feet. If you can find these at your Dollar Tree, they do have a couple different styles. I always try to grab some because I like to use them year-round for gnomes because they're the perfect size and you can always take off the sweater. Now for the Christmas trees, all I'm going to do is fluff them up, but I'm kind of fluffing them up only on one side. I want it to kind of have a flat back because you're not really going to be able to see it back there. So super fluffy. And then I just kind of mold the very tip of it into like a little faux foot by folding it over onto itself and just bending it into like the shape of an L like that. So it's going to make the perfect foot to go inside of our little boot. And then I want it to be nice and full so it looks like a big full gnome beard, which is one reason why I got the white Christmas trees. I thought that that would look more like a gnome beard, but I guess you could do it with the green ones as well. I do the same thing on the other one. I fluff it all up. I make a little faux foot on the bottom. And then all you have to do is slide on those little Dollar Tree ornament booties. And the great thing about this gnome is that he is freestanding. These booties work great because he can stand up on his own. I just make sure it's on there nice and tight. So cute. And I got the idea to make this Christmas tree gnome from a blog. I'll try to remember to post the link to this. She kind of gave step-by-step directions. And I loved it so much I had to try to recreate it. Now for the top part, I actually am going to use some floral foam. I just had one of those little square pieces, so I thought that would work. And I take both of our Christmas trees and stab that into the floral foam. That's going to keep it all together like that, and you won't be able to see that part anyway because it's going to be underneath of our little Santa Claus hat. So I've got it all together. The beard looks nice and fluffy, so we can start working on the little gnome hat. We're going to use a Santa Claus hat. Now, this is like an adult size hat. If you had like a smaller child size hat, it might fit a little better because this one was a little big. And so I am going to have to downsize it a little bit to make it fit tightly on there. But look how pretty and sparkly that is with that red sequence. So cute. But to kind of make it a little bit smaller, I was trying to think how I could hem this easily like a no-sew method. So I'm just going to pop the hat inside out. And we're going to kind of hem it from the inside with just some hot glue because you know your girl doesn't like to sew. Now, fun fact, I already mentioned my mother in this video, but she was a seamstress. And you would think that like some of that would have passed down to me, right? I don't know. I have a sewing machine. I just don't like to use it. And so I just fold it over like that, hot gluing it to itself. And it just made the hat a little bit skinnier enough to fit the little gnome. And I do that all the way down there, including like the little brim of the hat. And easy peasy, now we have a slimmer Santa hat for our little gnome. Just making sure that is all dry before I turn it right side out. And you could always do this with like the plush red Santa hat too. It would be super cute. I didn't wait for mine to entirely dry, so I did have to kind of touch it up a little bit there to make sure that it is a nice seam, even though it is a hot glue seam. And I do that on both sides. And then the brim of the hat was a little too big too, so I'm going to have to kind of shorten that up a little bit to make that fit as well. But I'm going to go ahead here and try it on to see if it fits now. And it totally does, but that's when I noticed that the brim of the hat was maybe a little too big too. So I'm going to kind of just fold it upon itself just to make it a little bit shorter. And I can kind of hem that up with some hot glue too, just by kind of cinching it up on top of itself to make it a little bit shorter, just like that. So I do that and then just use some hot glue to secure it, just so it looks like it's a little bit skinnier there. And then the Santa hat fits perfectly there on the little gnome. I'm going to slip it off and do the same thing, kind of cinching up, doubling up the little brim of the hat here on the back. So it's going to be the same height. And the great thing about this DIY is it looks great front and back. You can stand this out in front of your house. You can stand this just about anywhere. I love this DIY. It's one of my absolute favorites. Now we just need to put it together. I thought one of the little gold Christmas ornaments from the Dollar Tree would make a perfect gnome nose. A little Christmas ornament would work perfect. It's the right size and shape, and I think they would be a fun touch. So I picked these up. They are gold. You could always use whatever color you could find, but I think we can make this work. And I'm just going to use that as the little gnome nose right here in the middle, like it is peeking out from the bottom of the Santa hat. And the Santa hat and a gnome hat, basically the same thing. And I just hot glue that right inside. I also hot glue it a little bit to the tree just to make sure that it stays in place. And then you can always kind of, fold over the tip of your hat if you like that look. You could always stuff your hat too to make sure that it stands up well. But I kind of like it kind of bent over a little bit. I think that's cute. And since that was the only thing that was gold on there, I decided to add just some of the gold jingle bells from Dollar Tree. We can dress up his little booties here and make them super cute. So I decided to replace the pom-poms on them with the little gold jingle bells just to bring a little bit more gold into the DIY. But this is just me being extra. It did look really cute though. Jingle belling the little boots. And I didn't really have enough string on there to tie them. So as you can see, I'm kind of just stringing that on and attaching it with hot glue, kind of gluing the string in the jingle bells. And I do the same thing on all four. And there he is, our little Christmas tree gnome. So cute. It's like a little tiny gnome child, if you will. Super fun. And this is how it turned out. There was a little gold there in the sequence of the Santa hat, so I guess that does tie in with the gold that I used on there as well. But isn't he so sweet? I love the idea of using the Dollar Tree Christmas trees as a gnome beard. So fun. I love him. He's always one of my favorites. Hey guys, if you're enjoying today's video, be sure to hit that like button. It always helps, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel here at Crafty Beach. For the next one, I wanted to do a wood bead snowman wreath. So I picked up a wood bead wreath from the Dollar Tree, and then I wanted a smaller size for the head. So I picked up a 3-pack of just the wire reforms, and this is the smaller one because I wanted the head of the snowman to be a little smaller. So it's super easy to break that in half right at its welding point. And I'm going to make my own little wood bead wreath, just a smaller size to coordinate with the one that I got at the Dollar Tree. So I'm actually just using Dollar Tree wood beads. These are the ones that are already strung together, but they have these in packages too. And it's almost the same size as the wood beads that they used on theirs. And so I think it's going to go really nice together. I was thinking of like a Scandinavian design because it's going to be like natural wood colors, and then we can add some greenery and some fun touches to it. It's just going to be very subtle snowman wall hanging, or you could use this as a wreath. So it's just a matter of covering this entire little wreath form with wood beads. When I got to the end, I wasn't sure if I should fill it all the way up or leave a small gap. And I decided to leave a small gap. It's going to make it easier to gather the wreath form back together. So as you can see, there was kind of room for one more wood bead, but we're going to use the two wires coming together there and kind of marry those together. So I'm just going to start with taking a piece of twine. And then I'm also going to use hot glue. So it's going to be hot glued together and it's going to be tied together to keep that together. I tie a double knot and then I can use that same twine to tie it where the wreath form comes together here on the larger wood bead wreath. That's going to be the body of my snowman. If you wanted a 3-piece snowman, you could keep going and do another one of those wood bead wreaths, but it's going to end up being pretty long. So depends on how big you want your snowman to be. I think 2 is going to be plenty for mine. So that was super easy to attach those together. Now we just need to figure out how to design a snowman hat and like little snowman arms. So I picked up just a craftwood square from the Dollar Tree, and I have a Dollar Tree wood ruler that I thought we could use for the brim to make a classic looking snowman hat. Now, all you have to do is peel the stickers off on these, and you have a great piece of wood that you could always cut down to size. So I just peeled the stickers off mine, took mine to my saw, cut it down into the right size, and now it's just a matter of trying to put this together. Now, I'm going to show you how I did it. I ended up doing something different, but my first attempt, I was going to put the hanger at the top like that, and I wanted my snowman hat to kind of tilt off to the side. I ended up changing the style because it just physically didn't work like I thought it would, but I'll take you through all the steps. So I'm just going to drill a couple holes in my little craft wood from Dollar Tree so that I can string that to my wood bead wreath for the head of the snowman. And again, I wanted mine to tilt, so I thought I could kind of put it off to the side here, and I'll kind of show you why it doesn't work. I put twine through each one of my holes that I drew on there, and then I just tied that to my wood bead wreath. Now, I wasn't sure if this was going to work because is that going to be like stay against the wall or the door, or is it going to kind of fold forward? I went ahead and attached like the brim of my hat, thinking that if I glued the two together, that would make it plenty stable. But then I took it and tried to hang it up, and it wasn't real stable. So we're going to have to slightly change the design of the snowman, and I'll show you what I did to fix him. So this is me deciding, yeah, plan B. I don't think he's going to be able to have a tilted hat. He's going to have a straight hat. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove that. I already kind of did that, so I left it in. You know, not all of our plans always work, but I can also show you what I did to fix it. So I just took everything apart. We're going to go in here again, and we're going to string it directly to the top of the snowman. That way we can make that the hanging piece for the entire wreath. And it actually turned out really cute, even though it wasn't what I originally designed. I'm going to find the middle of this piece of wood to drill a hole so we can make a hanger. And so I just kind of measured it, drilled a hole in there. That way, that's going to be nice and centered. And we're going to kind of put it together the same way, except the snowman's going to be wearing his hat straight. And I actually liked it better that way. So do it this way, not the way I did it. So again, I'm going to take some Dollar Tree twine and just string this in. I have the brown and white twine, but you can use whatever you've got. I just happen to have this on my work desk. And then I'm trying to count how many wood beads I have so I can try to get this on evenly. I found that if you count it more than once, you get a different number every time. So I'm trying again to see if I have it on there right, because it did not look right. And you know what? I did not have it on there right. So I'm going to kind of rearrange it and then tie that off, make sure everything's the center, pull all of my twine to the back of the wreath so you won't be able to see any of that, right? And then double knot it, and that I can trim off the excess twine back there. I'm actually doing the voiceover for this DIY video in the Keys right now. We're in Marathon celebrating my son's 19th birthday. We're having so much fun here, but I had the video done, but it didn't have the voiceover done. So I wanted to get this up this weekend for y'all so you can have some more Christmas content. So I am finishing this video off down here. I'm just going to now go ahead and take the ruler, glue that to our little snowman sign. And I just tied a simple knot for the hanger at the very top. And we have the structure of the snowman. Now it's going to be just the simple round shapes for the head and the body, but I wanted them to have little snowman arms. So this is the greenery we used for our wall hanging from Dollar Tree, and it's already wired. So I just put that around my wreath form in between two wood beads, stringing that around, and it's going to stick out to the side like little greenery arms for our snowman. And it actually worked really well. It was super easy. I'm going to again count my wood beads so I can get my little arms even. And I'm just going to wrap the wire around the wire from the wreath form. And we have two little arms. That could not be easier, and it goes perfect with the Scandinavian style. Now, I picked up this eucalyptus at the Dollar Tree that I think is so beautiful too. This is in with their Christmas greenery as well. It has the beautiful eucalyptus, and it's got like little flowers on it as well. I thought this would be the perfect thing to decorate like the neck of the snowman. You could always do a scarf, but I kind of wanted to go with the greenery effect so it'll just be like greenery and wood on the snowman. And I love the contrast. It's so beautiful together. So I just take a 2-piece of the leaves that are attached together. I'm going to go ahead and leave all my leaves attached together and just glue that to my wood beads, and we're going to decorate the little neck of the snowman. I want to kind of fill it in like you would do like the bottom of a wreath or something like that, but again, it's going to also serve to kind of cover that area of the snowman between the two little body parts. So I'm just kind of feeling it out. I don't want it to be super symmetrical, so I glued on 2 more of the 2 leaves, and then I'm going to glue another one on here, kind of mixing up which direction it's going and stuff like that. I want it to look kind of random and not super symmetrical down here. And then gluing the little flower in as well. And the colors on that eucalyptus go so well with the colors on the greenery that we use there for the little snowman arms. So I like it. I think it's really pretty, but I think it needs a little bit more. So I'm going to take a few more off. And the easiest way to do this is just to pull it off of the greenery. It comes apart really easily. You don't need to cut it or anything like that. And I'm just going to kind of build this out a little bit more, gluing them to each other and also gluing them to the wood bead wreath there. Just so it's nice and full. Kind of like that. I thought about making it come down like a scarf, but I thought I might not be able to pull that off. We're going to make it just the neck area. So just a few more little pieces here until I'm happy with it. And I thought maybe one more over here. And basically that's all there is to it. We're going to leave the wood natural color for the hat and for the wood beads. It goes with the Scandinavian Christmas decor. It goes with my coastal decor as well. And it turned out so cute. I haven't decided if I'm going to use this indoor or outdoor. Since everything's tied together with twine, I don't see why it would not hold up well outdoor. I do have a white door though, so I don't know if it's going to have, I think it might look better on my tan, like brownish walls in my home. But this is our little snowman. Isn't he so adorable? Okay, for the next DIY, I picked up one of these little window frames from the Dollar Tree, and we're going to give it a Christmas makeover. So the first thing I'm going to do is just remove the hanger that's on there. These come in different colors. It doesn't really matter which one you get because we're going to paint it anyway. I want to do the red and white theme on this one, and I've got a really cute idea using some other items there that you see from the Dollar Tree. So I wanted to pop off the little sign first, so I'm just using some heat. There are like a few like little nails or staples that kind of keeps that on there, so be careful with this. You don't want to poke yourself. But I was able to get most of the glue off there and kind of clean that up a little bit. We just wanted just the frame of the window so that I could paint that part to start the DIY. And of course, I want to do it red, so I'm going to do that bright red acrylic paint. And this is kind of a thin piece, so I'm just going to use a little makeup sponge from the Dollar Tree, and we're just going to paint this window. I love these little cathedral signs from the Dollar Tree. They have them in wood, they have them in plastic, and they have them in all different like styles. Every time I go there, I'm always finding a different one, but I love them and they're so cute. This would be great to do on a larger scale as well, but this is going to be kind of a smaller scale cathedral window Christmas DIY for you that you could pretty much display just about anywhere. And I'm just carefully going over all of that to make it nice and red. And it's just going to provide a nice background. I want to do like a snowy Christmas window. And I want to have a wreath on there like for Christmas decorations. And we're even going to do a little deer head as well. I thought that'd be really cute using a Dollar Tree ornament. Now to replace the sign that was on there before, we're going to use one of these little wood cutout Merry Christmas signs from the Dollar Tree. It looks like it's on a fancy ribbon, and as you can see, it's just the right size for this. And it's going to kind of cover up any damage at the bottom of the window frame there too, where it had been glued down before. So I did want to do the red and white theme, so I'm just using plain white acrylic paint, and again, a makeup sponge, and painting this. You know, using a makeup sponge to paint some of these thinner items is actually a trick I learned from you guys. You guys always have the best crafting tips, and I love it when you leave them in the comments. You guys are always teaching me stuff too. So we're just gonna hot glue on our little Merry Christmas sign, centering it right on here. Super cute and so easy so far. So we removed the hanger on here when we went to paint it. So I'm just going to make a new hanger using some Dollar Tree twine. I like to feed mine in from the back, just simply knotting it in front and replacing the hanger on there. And then we can keep decorating this cute little Christmas window. Now the wreath that I'm going to use is actually off a Dollar Tree sign that you see there. It says love and it's just the right size. And so even though it's very sensitive to heat, I'm going to try my best to try to loosen this without melting the whole thing. Sometimes that Dollar Tree Greenery is very melty with the heat gun, so I'm really trying just to aim my heat at the glue, but I was able to pop it off. You could always DIY a tiny wreath like this, but I had that sign already, so I thought I would make good use out of it, and I can save that part of the sign to use on another DIY. So it's a little charred at this point, but I think we can make it work. I just wanted to kind of center it on the window to make it look like a little Christmas wreath right about here. And then we can have the little white deer head coming out of the center. So I'm just going to put some hot glue right there on that arch. It's just the right size, as you can see. And then the little deer head is already white. That's just a Christmas ornament from Dollar Tree. So I think that's going to look really cute on our little Christmas window as well. I've got that all secure. I don't really like all the decoration that's on this, so I'm just going to go ahead and take that off. I don't want too much decorations going on. And I was trying to decide if I needed to kind of cut the hanger off, and I decided to kind of just snip that off with a pair of scissors there, just so he doesn't have like a ring coming out of the middle of his head. And then we can glue them right to this like top part of the window right here. There's a perfect area where I can glue the little deer head on there, and he's looking super cute and festive for Christmas. Now I thought we could add a few Christmas touches to him, so I thought some jingle bells would be cute on a little deer. We'll say it's a reindeer. So we're going to use some of these little jingle bells from the Dollar Tree, and I thought we could string them right up here on the top where that little crossbar is there, the structure of the ornament, just to kind of cover that up and add a little decor. So I just use some twine and I just tie on a couple little jingle bells, and I'm just going to tie mine on that little crossbar up here. It's going to kind of disguise it, but it also provides a nice little Christmas decoration right there on the top of my little deer. So just tie that on, just cutting off the excess twine. And then I just wanted to add a little bit more decor to the wreath and the deer and the window just to make it extra special, but it's looking really cute so far. Now I did have some really skinny red ribbon, so I'm going to tie like just a little teeny tiny bow here to decorate our little teeny tiny wreath. I thought that'd be a nice little touch. I'm just going to hot glue it right here to the center of the base of our little miniature wreath. And then the next thing is I wanted to make it look like it's snowing. So again, these are those foam white glitter snowflakes from the Dollar Tree. And this time I'm using some of the smaller ones. And we're just going to kind of scatter those all over like it is snowing outside this window. And I thought that provided a nice pop of color and the perfect final touch for this little Dollar Tree DIY. Isn't it so sweet? Our little red and white Christmas window with the little deer and the wreath. Everything was from the Dollar Tree and it was so easy to put together. This is how it looks hanging in my home. Super cute, and I love those little ornaments. I love picking up ornaments from the Dollar Tree because they're always great for crafting. Okay, the next DIY, I wanted to make a really cute little wood slice Christmas tree. I saw one similar for sale, and it was a Scandinavian Christmas decor. I think it's going to go perfect with my coastal decorations, and it turned out so pretty. So to start with, I'm going to use one of the little foam cones from the Dollar Tree. It's not too big, but it actually worked perfect for this. And then I want to cover the entire foam cone with masking tape. Now, there's two reasons why I'm doing that. I'm going to be hot gluing the wood slices from the Dollar Tree onto the foam. And so the masking tape is going to prevent it from melting the styrofoam. And the color is really nice. So if there's any gaps in between the wood slices, the color of the masking tape is going to be fine to be visible. But I was actually able to get really good coverage on this DIY. So just a matter of putting it on there. I kind of tear it when I get to the bottom until I cover the entire Christmas tree, just trying to make sure everything is down flat. Now, these are the wood slices we're going to use today. Trying to remember how many packages I used. I think I ended up using 2, maybe 2.5 packages. We'll see here. And the Christmas tree that I saw that was made like this just had the wood slices coming out like this with the little edge exposed. So I just hot glue one on, overlapping the bottom of the tree just by the little ledge, right? That way it's going to kind of form the bottom, but I don't want any of the foam to be visible if possible. And I'm going to start working my way around the little cone shape by hot gluing them side by side, trying to get them all about the same length at the bottom, where they'll match up and the Christmas tree will be level. And this is kind of like crafting with driftwood, a little bit like putting together a puzzle. So you might need to lay out some of yours so you can space them out properly and get them to fit here without too big of a gap. So I noticed there was a slight variation in the size, but this is how it looks like after one layer. I thought I was going to have to go in and put some reinforcements underneath that to make it more stable. But you know what? I didn't need to. Actually, the whole project turned out really stable. I was really impressed. For the second layer, I'm going to glue, just like I did before, to the little masking tape. But I'm also gluing to the row below it. I'm trying to alternate between the two, but going around, you're going to have less and less, so it's going to be impossible to keep that pattern going. But I just want to kind of keep it random, if I can, the pattern between that row and the row underneath of it. So I just start gluing these on, gluing it to the masking tape and then gluing it to the wood underneath of it. And it's probably one reason why this ended up so strong and sturdy at the end is that I was gluing wood to wood so much. So I got our second row complete and I did open a third package, but I don't think I ended up using all of these. So you don't need too many of them. I absolutely love these things. The wood slices. I went ahead and pulled some hot glue around all the openings there while I could get to them. And then we're going to start with the third row, repeating the same pattern. By now, I'm a pro. So I was putting glue on the tip and putting glue towards the base of each one where it will line up perfectly to glue it to both surfaces. And again, just making sure that I can get that to fit. And trying to clean up any excess hot glue, any stringing hot glue as I go. And again, I'm going to pull a little bit of hot glue in each little gap just to make it a little bit stronger. And we can start here with row number 4. This actually really didn't take me very long to put together, and I absolutely love how it turned out. All the supplies were from the Dollar Tree, and it looks so high end. I was so impressed with it. So as you can see, since I'm getting more towards the tip, I am using less every time around. And so I'm going to kind of map them out like 3 at a time here to kind of see what I can get to fit. I was trying to go with 3 of my skinniest ones, and I finally found 3 that will work, and just continue hot gluing those on. Now, the cone, the styrofoam cone from Dollar Tree doesn't have a very sharp tip at the top of it. I don't know why they're like that, but I'll show you what I do to kind of get around that. So again, I just pulled hot glue in my gaps to make it stronger, and we're going to start on this row. This is going to be like our second to last row, and we're just going all the way to the top of the foam here. The last kind of surface we kind of have to attach it to. And again, trying to find the perfect ones that are going to fit, a little bit of trial and error, and hot glue on those last couple pieces. I think I found a good combination, and we glued that straight on. Again, I'm going to pull the glue around. Now, at this point, I was kind of like, can I just glue to the wood below it? Because I do need a tip for my Christmas tree. I need it to all come together at the top. So I'll show you what I ended up doing. I'm going to start with 1. Just gluing it straight to the wood. And then I was like, you know what? I really do need something to glue it against. So I just took a little foam ball. It could be anything. It's way too big. So I'm just going to cut it down to size. And you could use a little wad of paper, just whatever you have. You're just going to need some kind of tip here. Just something to glue the wood to provide a little stability up here on the top. So I just glue that to the very top of my foam cone, and then I glue that wood slice directly to it. And then we're going to kind of continue the same thing that we were doing before, making sure that we get all of the wood to come together here. So I'm trying to see exactly how many I can fit around here. And as you can see, I guess probably 2.5 packages of those wood slices to do the side tree. Then for the center, I just pull some more glue in there to make it super strong. And then I had a small gap, and there was actually a broken little wood slice on one of my packages, so I thought I might as well just take advantage. And I took that little broken wood slice and just put it right inside to fill in my gap on the top of my tree. And this is how it turned out. Little wood slice Christmas tree. I think it's so beautiful. The natural wood color, just leaving it raw wood like this, really goes with like the Scandinavian Christmas feel. And it's going to look so beautiful with all of my coastal Christmas decorations as well. So this is how it turned out, my little wood slice Christmas tree. I think it looks very professional, and everything, of course, was from the Dollar Tree. Okay, the next DIY, I picked up these mittens and hat combination at the Target dollar spot for $5 because I really wanted the mittens to make winter DIYs with. So I have this stocking hat left over. It's mint green. I think it's beautiful, and I thought it would make a really fun snowman hat. So we're going to take that, one of the little fake carrots from Dollar Tree, and some microfiber duster mop pads, and we're going to make a snowman gnome. I didn't know if I could pull this off, but we're going to give it a try. Now, if you recognize that the tags are a little different on these, I actually picked these up at Pop Shelf for $1 instead of Dollar Tree. The only difference I noticed is they're a little bit woolier, so you can totally use the ones from the Dollar Tree. They're almost exactly the same. They're definitely the same size. And then I got a wood round from the Dollar Tree. Have you guys seen that they kind of changed the hangers on these? Kind of cool. And I thought we could put it all together and just make a snowman gnome head, just the head part. So let's see if we can pull it off. I thought if we used the little microfiber mop heads, it would give that gnome look, like the fluffy beard of a gnome, right? So I'm just going to take hot glue, And I'm going to glue 1/2 of the wood round. It's pretty much a perfect fit for one of these mop heads. There's going to be a small gap where they have the rounded edges right there in the middle, but I will fill that up. And I'm not cutting them first. They are a little messy when you cut them. I thought it'd be easier just to glue it all down first. So I just make sure I use enough hot glue to secure that mop head. And when you put them side by side like that, it's pretty seamless. You can kind of fluff it all up for a cute little snowman head. Then I just flip it over and I'm just going to use some scissors. I was trying to find my sharp scissors and somebody had ran off with them, but I went and found them because I kind of needed them for this because this can be a little messy. It gets, it sheds when you cut it. So I'm just cutting all 4 corners off, trying to get that round shape of the snowman head and trying to minimize the mess with that. Now, again, I told you there was going to be a little bit of area here where the 2 pads came together. They did have rounded edges where there was going to be a little hole. So I just used hot glue and some of the leftover fuzz that I had just to fill in those 2 tiny areas. But otherwise, the rest of the head is all covered in this like snowy looking mop head. So cute. I thought that'd be perfect for a snowman. And I saw this carrot the other day at Dollar Tree in with like their fake fruit and vegetables, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need that for a snowman. So I'm going to kind of put it on there where it can kind of be sitting out a little bit, but going to one side. And I'm going to go ahead and leave the greenery on there. Then I realized that the hat was going to interfere with the hanger. And so even though I left the hanger on there, I decided I probably needed to remove it. And I'm just going to have to make a new hanger once I get the hat on there. And those hats are super stretchy, so it's definitely going to go over this big wood round. Then I thought for a snowman mouth, it'd be really cute to do like black buttons. And so I have one of those little button packages from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going through trying to find 5 medium-sized black buttons. I didn't want anything too colorful. It was a little challenging, but I was able to do it. And again, it's going to be a gnome snowman, so there's not going to be any eyes because the hat's going to cover it up like a gonk. And then I just use a tiny bit of hot glue to kind of secure those buttons down into the microfiber mop head to make our little snowman smile. And I wasn't sure, I was trying to find if anybody else had done this and nobody else had done it. So I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to pull this off, but I love how it turned out. I think it's so creative. So I'm going to leave the greenery on there. I thought I could use that to actually attach it. It's going to be hidden under the hat anyway, so you won't be able to see it. And to attach it, I just used my staple gun. And you're going through that fluff and stuff, and it worked out perfectly with that wood round, even though it's nice and thin. Now it's time to put our little stocking hat on our snowman. You could always do a more traditional snowman hat if you want, but I think a stocking hat works perfect for this. So I told you it was super stretchy, so I stretch it over, and I'm going to have it sideways. I thought that would be cute. And then have it slightly overlap our little carrot, having the carrot kind of go off to the side. It's going to be kind of 3D, but it's still kind of going to go off to the side. And then I just hot glue the stocking hat to the carrot. I also hot glue it around the edges to kind of mask that in, like the eyes are covered up with a little gnome hat or stocking hat. And this DIY could not be any easier, and it just turned out super sweet. I absolutely love how it turned out. So basically, that's all there is to the snowman. I guess you could do multiple wood rounds on top of each other if you wanted to do a whole snowman body. But I just made this for a door hanging for Christmas or winter, and I think it turned out so fun. I love the gnome snowman idea. Now, since I had to get rid of my hanger, I'm going to have to make a new one. So I just tie some knots and some Dollar Tree twine, and I just staple that right through the stocking hat. That staple is going to help keep the stocking hat in place too, so kind of win-win. And that's all there is to it. There is our little gnome snowman head. I absolutely love him. I think he is super sweet. And I love the color of that hat and those mittens from the Target dollar spot. Super cute, but you know what? You could always use any kind of stocking hat you've got around. If it has a ball on the top of it like that, it's really going to give it that fun, festive winter feel. But how cute is that realistic looking carrot for the nose? Okay, the next DIY, we're going to take a couple of just the chunky wood houses from the Dollar Tree. I tried to pick up two that were different. One's taller, has a chimney, and one is wider, shorter. And we're going to do some little Scandinavian Christmas inspired houses. I've seen these for sale a lot where it's kind of like a real wood with like a beautiful design painted on it with white. So we're going to try to recreate with Dollar Tree. So Antique Wax by Waverly I think is going to be way too dark. So I start by mixing it with water to dilute it down to make the stain lighter. Now, since these are going to be like little chunky houses that I can sit around in my Christmas decor, you're going to be able to see them from the front. You're going to be able to see them from the side. So I'm going to have to go in and stain all the surfaces. But as you can see, since they are made out of real wood, they're going to stain beautifully. And I just go over the front of it with my diluted stain and wipe off the excess with a paper towel. And I will have to go ahead and try to stain the sides as well. Just kind of cleaning those up with a paper towel as I go. Now, this is going to be the front side, so I'm going to go ahead and do my most perfect stain on this side. So I do this one last. And I stained it. I found that this side, they didn't stain quite as dark as I wanted, so I just added a little bit more Antique Wax by Waverly into my water to make it a little bit darker of a stain, and I was happier with that because I wanted something that would contrast with the white paint. Now, I thought about going on my Cricut and making a really intricate Scandinavian design of a house, but I thought, let's be creative and make it ourselves. So I'm just using a white paint pen. I'm using Posca. They're my favorite paint pens. I have them linked in my Amazon shop below. You can get them on at Target, but I find that they're cheaper on Amazon. So be sure to check those out if you're in the market for paint pens because they work so well. And I use white all the time, so this is probably my favorite one. So I'm using some references online for how I kind of want my house to set up. I kind of Googled an image of little Scandinavian wooden houses, and I just drew a simple door on and some simple windows. And my windows were not perfectly level with each other, but hey, this is going to be like folk art, right? We're going to make our own thing. I'm just going to go over it, making sure everything is nice and bold and white. And then I'm going to do a line here using a ruler for the top of my little house. And you can decorate yours however you wanted. I thought I had plenty of room here under the window, so I did two little triangular like Christmas trees and then some smaller ones next to it. That really goes with the Scandinavian feel. And then I decided to do a little snowflake. So I'm going to do little hanging snowflakes on this one. So I did a larger one on this one, and I kind of looked online, kind of see a good design for a snowflake. And then I'm going to do like just some little zigzags here. I thought that would be cute on the roof. And then we'll fill out the front of the house with some smaller snowflakes as well, with like little strings, like little hanging snowflakes on the front of our little Scandinavian house. I did another line, and then I did triangles in my pattern on the roof to kind of represent a Christmas tree. I did polka dots to represent snow, some smaller little snowflakes, and even a little heart I thought would be cute on the chimney. I finish it off with some more dots to kind of make it look like snow, and then I just traced around the borders of mine, so you can really have fun with these and put whatever you want on them. Again, if you want them to be perfect, you could always make a stencil with your Cricut, but I think half the fun of this DIY was kind of coming up with my own pattern. So that is the first house. We're going to display these together. I think these are going to look great displayed with like little green Christmas trees, like little bottle brush trees. I think that would be so pretty together. Or some like more sculptural cone-shaped ones from like the Target Dollar Spot or something like that. Now for our little second house, I'm going to do a little bit different style door, like a little fancy window here on top. And I decided to mix it up on this one. I decided to do just one window, and then we could do like trees on the other side. That way we can make them bigger. And I just did two different styles of trees and a Scandinavian pattern. I did a little window for the attic, and then I decided to decorate the roof of this one with like a simple triangular Christmas tree shape. So I just did little Christmas trees all over, just kind of randomly, filling that in with little dots to represent snow. And I just keep decorating it. I did zigzags, and then I did stars. That kind of reminds me of Christmas too, right here in front of the house. And a few more dots for snow. And we're going to sketch out the sides of this one too with my paint pen just to kind of outline it and give little trunks to all my trees and kind of make my zigzags a little bit sharper. But how fun was this? I loved making these myself. I'm so glad that I decided to freehand it instead of going with a pattern because they are uniquely my own. But again, if you need inspiration, you can use mine, or you can go online and find some of these for sale and kind of design yours accordingly. Kind of did my own thing, but I used like little pieces from different ones that I found online. Just going to kind of update my stain here on the side. This side of them is the only part that I found was a little bit harder to stain properly. But otherwise, I'm super happy with them. So we have two of the little Scandinavian Christmas little wood houses. The natural wood and the white totally goes with the theme. And I think it's really cute to get more than one, to get them in different sizes. You could do a whole village of these if you had room for them in your Christmas decor. And if you had some littles that wanted to get involved with a DIY project for Christmas, I think they would really have fun with this one. For the next one, we're going to use another one of the tinsel trees from the Dollar Tree. One of their Santa hats that looks like a lumberjack, like red buffalo check, and some Dollar Tree rope. And this one was a really fun one to make. So just like before, we are going to use the cage of the tinsel tree for our little gnome hat and actually for its body. This time, no flower pots or anything like that, though. It's just going to kind of sit flat with the base of it. So once I get all of the tinsel off and cleaned up, we can start putting this little guy together. Now, I kind of wanted to test out the Santa hat to see if it was going to fit on this size cage and what I'm going to have to do to kind of make it fit. But how cute is the fur on this? I thought that would be so cute. I kind of want to make like a rustic looking, like lumberjack looking Christmas gnome, if you will. Now, this is the Dollar Tree rope that we're using to make the beard. It is the thinner one. And we're actually going to use that unwound to make cute little curly beard for our gnome. You could always use a mop head as well, but I really liked the way the rope turned out for this DIY. So while the rope's intact, I'm going to go ahead and measure exactly how long I need the beard to be. I'm going to have it go from that first line of the cage down to the bottom, kind of overlapping the bottom. And then I just used the first piece as reference, and we are just going to cut out a ton of rope because I'm going to need that to go kind of all the way around there to form the beard and kind of the body of the gnome. And so I'm just cutting as much as I have rope for. That way I'll have them all the right size and we can attach them. I thought it would be easier just to attach the rope as is and then unwind it once we got it on the little Christmas tree shape. So let's get started with that. I'm going to actually just attach it to that top bar there of the plastic. And we're just going to use some hot glue. Again, just using the rope as is at this point and gluing that on. I want to make sure that I get it all secure so when I unwind it, you're not going to be having any of the rope fall off. And then I just go right next to it side by side and do some more rope. And I was trying to do like maybe one or two at a time if I could to kind of make it go a little bit faster, but just trying to fill it all in with rope. And we're going to go around the Christmas tree and do the same thing all the way around. Even though like a gnome doesn't really have a beard on its back, we're going to kind of make it work because like the little hat will be back there as well and it kind of needs a body back here. So we're going to do rope for the whole thing. So make sure that you have enough to kind of get good coverage. Even there at the end, you don't want any like big gaps if you can hide it. And we have them all secured. Now, I was a little worried that some might fall off, so I decided to reinforce mine a little bit. And I'm just using some twine, and I'm simply hot gluing that on top of the ropes to kind of try to keep that together for when I go in and start unwinding all of the rope. I want to make sure it all stays attached. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go in and unwind it into 3 little pieces. And it gives the most adorable little curly beard. I have to go around and do that on every single one of the ropes. Now, if you wanted it to be like really furry or plush, you could comb it out even further into individual strings. But I really liked the curly nature of the rope. I thought it looked really fun and rustic. So that's what it looks like so far. We've got our little beard that goes all the way around. Then for a little gnome nose, I'm just going to use a wood bead. I had like a larger wood bead that I had purchased on Amazon. And since it's raw wood, I thought it'd be fun to stain it since we're kind of doing that like little lumberjack look. I thought it would be cute. So I used some antique wax by Waverly and just simply stained my wood bead to give me a really cute little rustic gnome nose. Now to attach it, since it's a wood bead, I can just put some twine through the holes and we can actually just tie that onto the cage. And that's going to help keep it in place rather than just use hot glue. It kind of keeps the holes up and down too, kind of out of the way. And I still have access to the inside, so I can kind of tie that off, hiding the twine on the inside. And that's what we have so far. So let's get started on the little gnome hat. Isn't this so cute, that red and black buffalo check? I love the fur on these. I think they're so cute. I've actually used the fur for other DIYs just because I love them so much. I'm going to try it on and see if it's too big, and it is way too big. So we're going to try hemming it like we did before to try to make a smaller hat that's going to fit our gnome. So I kind of measured about how much, but then I thought I'm going to have way too much extra fluff and material in here for as much as I'm going to have to hem this down. So I decided just to cut that excess material out just to get it out of the way. And I kind of did it on a seam too. And then we can just form a new seam to make a smaller hat for our little gnome. That is about how much I removed, so a pretty good chunk of it. Now I'm going to turn it inside out again so we can do our hot glue sewing method here. And we're just going to glue the front surfaces to each other, forming a seam. And this is lined too, so you might need to hot glue different layers together like that to keep everything nice and solid. I also glue the fur to itself. And I flip it over so I can kind of get the liner glued down on this side as well. Let that set up and then we can pop it back through, and now we have a nice skinny Santa hat, perfect size for our smaller size gnome. So we're just going to slide it on his little head like that. I kind of wanted it to be a little longer in the back to kind of cover up a lot of the gnome body too. And kind of trying it on for size. Now it's time to attach it. I decided just to do hot glue all along the tops of my rope right here. And then I can glue the hat to it, just with the brim like slightly overlapping our little gnome or gonk nose like that. Now in the back, I noticed it was still a little loose. I probably didn't size it down as much as I could, but we're going to try to make it work. I just hot glue it there to the rope, also covering the ends of those. And then I decided it just kind of needed a smaller brim. It was basically all it was. So I just cut the fur back there in the back where I could kind of hide it and overlapped it to tighten it up a little bit. And look how cute this little guy is. He's so adorable. I really love him. He looks super rustic. Definitely got like those lumberjack Christmas gnome vibes. And you can kind of flip his hat over like that if you like. You could always stuff it with some polyfill if you want your little gnome hat to stand up. But I think he looks like a very rustic little Santa Claus gnome. And so cute. And a different option for the stockings from the Dollar Tree. Not the stockings, the Santa hats from the Dollar Tree that you can use to make a gnome. And look how cute that rope turned out for the beard. I absolutely love the curly rope. Very cute and super easy to make, actually. The next DIY, this might be my favorite. I found an old piece of driftwood at the beach. I just needed something straight. If you don't have any driftwood, you could always use a stick or even like a plunger handle or something like that. You just need something straight across the top. And then we're going to use some of the little wood slice ornaments from the Dollar Tree. Now, these are the actual ornaments that have holes already drilled in them, but you could also use their ones that don't have the holes drilled in them because we're actually going to have to drill more holes in them to do this DIY. I want to do a really beautiful Scandinavian wall hanging for Christmas with the wood feel. We're going to have the wood slices. We're going to have the macrame cord, and we're going to have some Christmas greenery. So I saw a couple projects I really liked, and I kind of combined them together to get something that was perfect. So they already have a hole on one side of them for the ornament hanger. So I just go in with my drill. And I'm going to put a hole in the other side and making sure that their hole was drilled plenty large so that I can get that Dollar Tree macrame cord through easily. I'm going to do a total of 3 of these ornaments, so 1 whole package for the middle of this one, and then I'm going to do 2 more on each side. How many you need kind of depends on how long you want yours to be and how wide you want it to be. You can always make it wider. I'm going to do just 3 columns of the little wood slices. So I'm going to do 2, 3, 2 is my pattern because I want it to be longer in the middle to hang down for like my macrame wall hanging. So I got all of my wood slices drilled, and I'm going to use a combination of this beautiful greenery and just wood beads. So this is called snow greenery. I got this from the Dollar Tree this year, and we're just going to kind of cut this down. I want to leave some of the stem on this, and we can use that to tie up to the macrame cord to make this beautiful wall hanging. I think this turned out so beautiful. I mean, it is Christmas, but it is something that you could leave up all winter long. I really think the colors and everything just goes together so well. So I have 2 packages of the snow greenery. I'm going to go ahead and cut it all down. I end up not using it all. Some of them have 1 piece of greenery on it, and some have 2. So I'm kind of mapping out what I want to use. I was thinking I was going to do like a total of 1 on each side, right? And then 2 on these ends. I ended up using a total of 4, even though I started here thinking that I was going to use a total of 6. Now, this is the Dollar Tree macrame cord. It comes in several different packages. I don't know if they're different links or not. This is the one that was just in a bundle. It doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. And I love crafting with this. It is so great. If you can't find the macrame cord, you could probably use white yarn and get a pretty close replication to this. But what I'm going to do is just kind of make a needle end by using hot glue and then just molding that when it gets dry to make a little hard surface. So it's going to make it easier to thread through everything I need to thread through for this. I'm just using some wood beads from my stash. You can get wood beads like this from the Dollar Tree, and you could totally use those as well. So the first thing I did was string a bead on, and then I'm going to go through my little wood slice and then back through it, bringing it through to the front. When I ended up displaying mine, I had it where the macrame yarn that goes through it is on the back, so you don't really see that part. So you mostly see a wood slice. Then I'm going to put on another wood bead. The width of the hole in the wood beads was nice and tight up against my macrame cord, so I didn't really have to tie any knots to be able to kind of keep that where I want it. And so for now, it's great because I can just kind of move that around. I did another wood slice and another wood bead, and then we're going to finish it up with the 3rd wood slice. It was pretty easy to thread that through. Then I'm going to wrap that around the center of my piece of driftwood here and just tie that off in a simple knot, letting that hang down to the center of our little piece, cutting off the excess twine. Make sure you get your knots tied tightly because you don't want this to fall apart. Now, once I have that, I kind of figure out how long I want it to be, and I'm going to make a very small tassel because it's only 1 piece of cord here in the bottom by tying a knot and then just unraveling and combing out the macrame cord to form a little tassel. These are very small tassels. You can always make larger ones. I didn't really want to take away too much from the overall design of this one, so we're going to leave that as so, just kind of cutting it off into a little tassel. So we have our first piece done, and we can keep on going. The only thing I don't like about the macrame cord in that package is it does get a little tangly. So I'm going to start a new piece here by hot gluing the end, just like we did before, and we're going to repeat the same pattern. So I did a wood bead, a wood slice, and then we're going to do another wood bead and then our second wood slice. This one's going to go over on the left side of our wall hanging, and I want it to hang just like that. So I just put it around my driftwood piece again, double knotting that at the top and cutting off my excess line. Then I'm going to use my first one as reference to see how long I want my tassel to be. And I'm going to do the knot in the same place. And then I can kind of measure and cut that down to size. Then just like before, I'm just going to unravel all the extra macrame cord and comb it out into a little mini tassel. So we have our first 2 wood slice rows done. And so it's going to gradually be shorter on each side and then work its way down to a point in the middle, which works really well for a wall hanging like this. And we're going to do the same thing here on the other one. So I just grab my macrame cord again. I don't cut it in advance. I kind of leave it all attached so I can make it whatever size I need it to be. And I do a wood bead and a wood slice. Some of the wood slices are kind of thick and chunky like this one. If I couldn't get it to go through, I just used a little Cricut weeder to kind of help push it through a little bit, and that seemed to help. And a wood bead and another wood slice. Then we're going to tie this one off on the driftwood as well, trying to keep it evenly spaced. That's when I kind of realized, I'm probably going to have room for about 5 of the greenery there because I don't want it too far close to the edges. And I'm going to just tie a knot, trim it down to size, and unravel and comb this little mini tassel as well. It's going to be worth it, all this effort. This DIY turned out so pretty. I love it. I can't wait to put this up this year. Now for the next one, I'm going to go ahead and take my macrame cord and just tie the knot to the top, just like we did before. And this is going to hold the little Christmas greenery. So I'm just going to cut off a length of that and then go in. I'm going to use the ones that have the 2 greenery on it to make it a little bit fuller. And I'm just going to simply tie a knot on the stem of my greenery, and it's going to hang straight down. So I double knot that to make that secure. And how simple is that, right? We're going to do the same thing here on the other side, and I'm making it where it's going to fall a nice length in between the 2 wood slices on each side. So I want this one to be about the same place. So I just tied that on, trimmed it down to size, double knotted the greenery here, and you can always slide that up and down if you need to kind of get that to hang properly. That's when I decided I can only do a total of, I guess, 4. I don't know why I was saying 5. And I'm just going to knot more of the macrame cord here on the top. As you can see, I really don't have much more room on this piece of driftwood. And then I want that to hang down a little bit higher than the wood slice next to it. So I cut my macrame cord down and just knot this. And again, this is super forgiving if you don't get it on there exactly the right size. You can always readjust later if you need to. And we're going to do the same thing here on our final row. Just double knotting the macrame cord to the top, trimming that down to size, making a knot, and tying this one off. So no bright colors or anything like that with the Scandinavian Christmas decor. I really love the hygge feel of decor, all this natural wood and the greenery and the whites and stuff like that. I think this kind of matches everything that has to do with that style. Now for the top, we're going to use the same macrame cord, and I just wrap it around here at the end, trying to tie it nice and tight to keep everything else on so it won't slide off the end. Cut off a long piece of that, pull it on the other side. We're going to tie it off over here too. Now, make sure you get these super tight. I only double tied mine and they felt like they were kind of loose. So I did go back and triple tie mine to make sure that those stay in place, but that was the final step of our little wood slice and greenery wall hanging for Christmas. I absolutely love how this turned out. So let me show you how it looks hanging up. Those wood slices from the Dollar Tree are absolutely gorgeous. And combined with the greenery, it's just so subtle and beautiful for Christmas decor. And I like the little accents of the wood beads as well. It really kind of goes with the feel of it. I wanted to do a red and white theme, and so I'm using one of these little red jars from the Dollar Tree, some of their white glitter eucalyptus, which is so pretty, and then some of their little white snowflake glitter stickers. Now, normally the foam stickers look kind of cheap, but the little white glitter on there really makes these really beautiful. And we're going to use a lot of these today. I love these. The first set of projects we're going to be doing are a very classic like red and white theme. For Christmas, I really love that. I think it's so pretty. So I'm just going to put the little snowflake right here on the front of the jar. And then we can fill it in with the eucalyptus, but I need something to kind of like fill the jar with. And so instead of like snow, I'm just using some of their white sand. That's going to work perfect in the jar to kind of weigh it down and give me something to put the white glitter eucalyptus in. So I always save my extra sand from the Dollar Tree, so I filled this up pretty full. Then I decided to kind of take it up a notch. This is that metal ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I thought this would look prettier around like the jar lid and kind of give it like a little fancy touch here for Christmas. So I need to measure out enough of the metal ribbon to go all the way around, slightly overlap. And then I'm just using my Dollar Tree floral scissors to try to cut that down, but pretty much any heavy-duty scissors is going to work on that metal ribbon. I love crafting with it. It's so pretty. So I'm just going to wrap it around the jar lid like that, and you can see how well that finishes off the top of it. And it goes with like the silver metal of the handle anyway. And I think it's a perfect final touch for this little DIY Christmas vase. I'm just going to do a little bead of hot glue here. We're going to kind of have it overlap in the back of the vase where you really won't be able to see it, and kind of glue it to itself. Now, using hot glue and metal can be a little bit tricky. You might want to use a stronger glue, but I was able to get this to work, just kind of giving my hot glue enough time to set up. Now that our vase is complete, we can fill it in with that white eucalyptus. Isn't it so pretty so far? And the white sand inside that red glass jar really made it like a bright red, really made that color pop. And so these are the white eucalyptuses. I'm just going to kind of cut mine apart here so that I can arrange this first layer kind of shorter and around the edges. And then I leave this second one together, putting that in the top in the center there so it sticks up higher. And it's going to fill out this little vase. It was so easy. Just a couple items from the Dollar Tree, but they really turned out really elegant. And I love the red and white theme for Christmas. I think it's so pretty. So this is our first DIY. We're going to be doing red and white Christmas DIYs. We're also going to be doing some easy 5-minute Christmas DIYs today. And we're also going to be doing a Christmas coffee bar. So I have all kinds of DIYs for you today, and I can't wait to show you. See how pretty that turned out? You would never know that was just a little Dollar Tree jar. I love the look of the metal ribbon at the top. Okay, the next DIY, again, you guys know I love my little tinsel trees from the Dollar Tree. They just make perfect gnome hats. They also make perfect Christmas trees, of course, because that's what they are. So we're just going to remove the tinsel from this one. And I have a fun idea of a different kind of gnome, Christmas gnome, that we can do with this one. And as you can see, I got like some little reindeer antlers from Dollar Tree. So this is going to be a little reindeer gnome. Earlier we did a snowman. We've done lots of Santas, but I thought Rudolph needed a gnome too. So we're going to see what we can do. Now I'm going to switch it up. This time we're going to use the brown rope from Dollar Tree instead of the white. It's going to kind of give us a different look. You know, the reindeer I thought would be cute if it was brown. So I think this rope is going to be perfect. So just like before, I'm going to have it go from the middle section to the very bottom. So I just measure off one piece and then go around and cut all of the rope. And this is the thinner brown rope from the Dollar Tree. Doesn't really matter. You can use whichever one that you want because we are going to unwind this like we did before. But you get a totally different look with the brown rope than you do with that white nautical rope from Dollar Tree. And you can kind of see which one or both that you like. Now I'm going to just start by hot gluing the rope to the middle cage right there. I actually started mine right there where there was kind of a crossbar for a little added stability. And then we're just going to simply hot glue those all the way around because like before, this is going to form the beard. It's also going to form the body because you don't want to have any open spaces or anything like that on the back of your gnome. So one package of that was not enough. So I had another package on standby, cut a few more pieces down, and that was good to go. Now I'm going to use my extra rope I have. You could always use twine like we did before, but that worked really well when I glued rope all the way around to help keep that in place, and it's going to be hidden underneath the gnome hat anyway, so you might as well reinforce it. And I just hot glue that all the way around. That way the rope is glued from the top and the bottom. Then I can unwind it and pull and tug on it and it won't go anywhere. But as you can see, that's what it looks like. It's not full at all if you just use the ropes like that. So that's why it is crucial to unwind them. So just like before, these just unwind into 3 different separate ropes. It's going to give you a really full curly little beard. And we're just going to simply go all the way around the tree and unwind every single one. These are the kind of time-consuming parts of the projects, but look how cute that turned out. Now it's time to get started on decorating this gnome. I was trying to decide what would make a good nose, and I decided the little red ornaments from the Dollar Tree would be perfect. I just love the idea of using a Christmas ornament for a gnome nose. And we can just attach it right there to the rope where I think the nose is going to be peeking out. So I decided to do it kind of right here where my rope came together anyway. You're not going to be able to see that part anyway, so it doesn't matter, but I could kind of get in there a little bit closer there where I had a gap. And we're just going to attach that little Christmas ornament with hot glue to make our little gnome nose. Just kind of nestle it right up in there. And I thought the red ornament would be perfect since we're doing a reindeer. It's going to look like a little Rudolph gnome. Now for the hat, the gnome hat, we're also going to make it look like a Christmas tree like we have in some of the other gnome DIYs today. And to do that, we're going to use my favorite garland, the Dollar Tree garland. It's so versatile and so inexpensive. I love crafting with this. So I'm just going to kind of wire that around my frame to kind of get me started there. And I'm also going to use a little hot glue just to make sure that this stays down and the overlap for the beard is going to hide the rope where it all comes together. You're not going to be able to see any of that. I don't want that to shift or anything like that. And then once I get that on, I can just kind of use pressure to like pull that around. It's got all the great tabs and everything on there on that tinsel tree cage. And just simply work my way up to the very top of our Christmas tree or gnome hat. I want to cover up as much plastic as I can. And this is how it looks so far. There is a slight hint that it might be a reindeer with that cute little Rudolph nose. Now, these are the antlers we're going to use. The thing is, they're too big for my gnome as is, so I'm going to very carefully try to use my heat gun to remove the felt from felt so I can get the little reindeer antlers off. I just try to get it a little bit hot and then just kind of pull it off because, again, I don't want to melt the felt if I can help it, but it wouldn't come off without just a little bit of heat. Now we have 2 reindeer antlers. They're just the right size, and it's just a matter of attaching these. So I was kind of trying to see exactly where they kind of come out, like from the beard here, one on each side of the little reindeer nose, and whether I want them to go like straight up or kind of out to the side a little bit, kind of compromised, kind of go slightly off to the side. And then I just hot glued that to the beard that we made out of the rope. Gonna do the same thing here on the other side, trying to make sure that my antlers are fairly even and secure. And then to kind of hide where they all come together, I'm going to make a brim to this like little hat, I guess it is, and to cover up the rope there as well with some more of that Dollar Tree garland. It hides like the opening of the antler where we attached it and the rope we used to reinforce everything. So I'm going to go around a couple of times to make that brim of the hat and just simply attach it here in the back. It's kind of easier to wire it to each other with the wire that's in the garland than it is to hot glue it. This garland from the Dollar Tree is really sensitive to heat, so be careful with your hot glue as well. Then I thought some of the little Jingle Bell mini bell garland would be really cute since it's a reindeer. I thought that'd be fun to give him some jingle bells. And as you can see, all of these Christmas gnomes today, all a little bit different, all different kinds of themes. I really hope that you got lots of good crafting inspiration today. I did 4 of these tonight. I did 4 of these last year, and I think they are so much fun. I absolutely love all of them. So I just strung that mini bell garland all the way around, just like garland. It's also going to be some jingle bells, but a nice rustic touch to our little reindeer gnome. How cute is he? I think that red ornament nose just really makes him. Now I wanted to do a tree topper on this one just for fun, so I decided to use one of the little wood stars from the Dollar Tree, and we're just going to simply stain it with Antique Wax by Waverly, kind of give it a warm look. And I thought that would be a really cute little tree topper to put on the top of my little Christmas tree up here. I didn't want the decorations to be too garish on this one. I wanted everything to kind of look rustic. That's kind of why I went with like the brown jingle bells. We have the brown tree topper. And I think it looks really cute as is. I think it just needs a few more touches. The first thing I want to do is kind of tone down that super glossiness of the little nose. And I do that with some matte Mod Podge just to kind of take the sheen down a little bit. Just because I was going for a little bit more rustic, a little less shiny. But of course, Rudolph's nose needs to be bright red. And that is how it looks so far. It's so cute. And then I thought, you know what? This will look great with some lights. So I'm going to feed some in there. You know, I might as well because we have access to the inside of the tree. So again, these are some Dollar Tree lights, the little tiny LED lights, the white ones. And I can kind of feed my little battery pack in right inside. So I'll be able to turn it on and off just by lifting up my little gnome. And then turn that on so we can kind of see what we're doing. And then we can string those lights around. And again, I just used white. It's going to be neutral, kind of go with everything. And I'm glad I did it because I didn't do a lot of decorations on this little Christmas tree. And it's still neutral with the white color, but it added a little pizzazz to our little Rudolph and Christmas tree gnome. I think he's so fun. So I just wound that all the way around. It's a perfect size for a tree that size. And I love him. I think he's so cute. And one of my very favorite Christmas gnomes. Definitely the red ornament or some kind of a red bead for the nose. And try to find some kind of antlers. They'd be pretty easy to make too if you couldn't find them, if you had some brown felt. Isn't he darling? I love him so much. I picked up some of these Dollar Tree wood signs. They are the square ones. They're super cute. They have redesigned this year, kind of fixing the structure on those a little bit. And a Dollar Tree yardstick. This one's got the cutest little Santa on it. Very vintage. It says ho, ho, ho. The painting's perfect. So all I do is just pop it off of the yardstick. It is too big for the sign, yes, but you know what? We can make it work. Now, I'm going to use one of these white wood bead garlands here to give me some white beads just because I wanted to add a little bit of fun to this hanger. So I'm just going to borrow those and put them on the existing hanger that was already on here, like maybe 2 on each side. And even though the Santa Claus is a little too big for the frame, it's totally going to work because I can just glue it to the frame itself. So that's what I'm going to do. I hot glue it to the beard and the Santa Claus hat, just framing it on there. And it kind of gives you like a little pop out shadow box effect. So easy to do. And look how cute this is. Just a couple items from the Dollar Tree. So easy to take those little wood stakes apart. And we're actually going to be using that Santa Claus again in another DIY later on today. It's one of my favorites. Look how cute he's painted. Now, once I got it on there, I remembered I don't really like the way these hangers hang because they don't hang very flush with the wall. They work much better if you go the other direction like this. So I wasn't sure if it would be long enough, but I tried kind of tying it off here on the front and just cutting off that little plastic piece and doing the same thing here on the other side. But you could always string a new twine through here. It actually might be easier because as you can see, it gets a little short right here. I don't need my hanger to be very long, and that's actually behind my hat. So you know what? We made this one work. So here is our first little sign. I made these signs for my dining room as well to go next to my garage door, and they turned out so cute for Christmas. Definitely under a 5-minute DIY, and we're going to do a whole set of these. They're so cute. But here's our little ho 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 Santa Claus one that we already have complete. So for the next one, we're going to do the same thing. I picked up another one of those wood square signs. Going to add some white beads to this one as well. And this one is going to be a cute little reindeer. This one's painted really cute too. His little reindeer, what is that? Like hat sleeve across his antlers says believe. He's got a little Santa hat on and he's adorable as well. So again, we're just going to pop that right off the yardstake and add this to it. Yes, I did the hanger wrong, but I hadn't realized. I kind of wanted to redo those. So keep that in mind. The new hangers on these make it where you can hang from the back or the front. It's a giant loop, and I like that better. So here is our little reindeer. You can see I went back in and kind of reversed the hanger so that my sign would hang flat against the wall like I like. But he is super cute. Look how cute that is. Again, just 2 items from the Dollar Tree, just putting them together to make an adorable little reindeer Christmas sign. And I hung these all one on top of each other, and this is going to be the third one of this set. Again, one of the wood frames from the Dollar Tree, adding white beads to each side. And this one's going to be that rustic little Santa Claus that says "Let It Snow" on his hat. I think these are so cute. Like, they don't really have any glitter on them. I love the like distressed look. You can see like a faux wood grain on them. How adorable are these? So again, I just popped the snowman off, and I don't have much of an overlap on this, but I have a small one. So I have to be kind of careful where I put my hot glue on this one to get it to fit, but I just center it on just like I did all the others. And we have a little snowman, Let It Snow. And again, I'm just going to hang these all in a row and make a nice set to display. Could not be any easier. And look how adorable this little snowman is. Isn't that so cute? I love the distressed look, and he really doesn't need anything. Super cute, and let me show you what they all look like hanging together. I think they look so cute in my kitchen for the holidays. So I did Santa, the snowman, and the little reindeer here on the bottom. How cute they all look as a set together. And now the next DIY, let's add some gold bling to one of their giant ornament signs from the Dollar Tree. Now I've done like giant ornaments that I've hung in the windows a couple of videos ago, and I kind of wanted to do a gold bling version of a giant ornament. So I'm going to use some of the glitter cardstock from Dollar Tree. I thought I was going to need 2 pieces, but I only ended up needing 1. And I'm going to show you how to make a really fun little ornament. So I'm going to go ahead and put mine on the back of mine straight up. That way I still have the corners that I can use for the next part of the DIY. And I just use an ink pen and draw this simple shape of the ornament out on the back of the cardstock. And I love it when Dollar Tree has cardstock because I try not to buy crafting items anywhere besides Dollar Tree and Dollar Spot. So if they don't have paper, I usually don't get any paper. But I'm just going to go ahead and cut that down to size. Super easy design. You can also do this with like the round ornaments. This is kind of like, what is this? More like a teardrop ornament. And I was glad to see that the corners were big enough to cover the trees, which I want to add to the ornament to make it look like it's an embossed ornament. So first, though, I'm going to have to attach the glitter cardstock, and it is a little thick with kind of a coated back. So I'm going to do quite a thick coat of Mod Podge all over my ornament to make sure that it's going to be strong enough to hold that to it. And then I'm just going to lay that right down, kind of smoothing out the edges the most. I noticed it kind of wanted to tend to pull away a little bit. So I did have to make sure all the edges were glued, including the tips. And I think that looks pretty good. And I did pop a hole in there with my little Cricut weeder so that I can make a hanger for that. And then I'm going to use some of the little wood cutout shapes from the Dollar Tree. I'm just using the Christmas tree shape. I thought that would be really easy little silhouette to cut out. And I'm going to do 3 of these. So I'm going to cut this out on my gold glitter cardstock. And that way we can make it look like the ornament has texture, kind of an embossing look is what I was going for. So I'm just going to sketch that out on all my scraps there with an ink pen, super easy. And then we can just cover these little wood ornaments just like we covered the giant ornament. So it's just a matter of trimming them down. Not a very intricate cut like earlier. No wonder my hand was cramping after some of these DIYs. But I wanted to keep everything really easy today, and hopefully you've got some fun Christmas crafting inspiration. Even if you are done crafting for Christmas, you'll have to save this video for next year. So I think that's going to look pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and trim down my others, and then I am just going to simply Mod Podge the paper onto the front of each one of the little Christmas trees, and then we can attach those to the front of the giant ornament. And while I'm doing that, I wanted to ask the same question that I posted on Facebook and on my YouTube community page. I wanted to know a story. You can leave it in the comment below. Like, what's a cherished holiday decoration in your home that has a special story behind it? I always love to hear about people's cherished holiday possessions because most of us have one, even if we've kind of started over with a tree. Like I myself have started over with a tree and done like a coastal beachy feel. I do still put baby picture ornaments and my son on there, and a few special ones that aren't exactly beach, but they don't really clash with beach. But mine is, I have this great set of vintage art prints that were hanging in my grandmother's house. They're very old. They are like oval shaped, and one is an old man and one is an old lady. My grandma had them hanging up year round, but I used to stare at them all the time at her house and tell her, these look like Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus. And I was convinced they were Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus. And so when she passed away, I was able to receive those, and I put those out every Christmas. And it always makes me smile because it always reminds me of my grandma and being a small child at her house year round. But I thought they were Christmas decorations, so that's what I've made them. So I just hot glued the little Christmas trees on the front, kind of all in a row. And then I'm just going to make a simple little ornament hanger. I looked everywhere for my red and white baker's twine and couldn't find it until after I finished with this DIY, of course. But I just used a brown and white one and tied a little knot to make a simple little hanger for our gold sparkly Christmas ornament. And I think this turned out so pretty. And using the little wood ornaments, just a fun way to add texture. It almost kind of like blends in, like right in the picture. But don't worry, I have the glitter cam coming up in a second to kind of give it the sparkly feels, because you're not getting any of that like glitter, sparkle movement just from the pictures, right? But these are the photos of my little Christmas DIY, and then here's that glitter cam. Just a little fun touch I wanted to add to this video. Now, this is an adorable little gift bag that I was able to find at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to turn one of their beautiful little gift bags into a Christmas sign. So the first thing I'm doing is just cutting off the front of the bag. That has less fold, so it's going to be the flatter side. And I want to make sure to get the whole image, so I kind of cut it a little longer on the sides and the bottom. Now, it's a pretty large gift bag, but I am able to use my paper cutter, but only for the sides. The bottom's going to be way too wide, but that's okay. That'll save me a little bit of cutting. But, cutting straight lines, not too hard. And we're going to use some Dollar Tree foam board that you see there, the black foam board. And we're just going to make a really quick, easy, lightweight sign that actually looks really cool. So I'm not going to frame it out or anything because I don't want to cut off anything. I don't want to cover anything up like the North Pole or anything like that. We're just going to use the entire front of the bag. So I went ahead and cut it down. This is the little ready board. I can only find black, which is fine. I don't think you're going to be able to see it at all in the final result. And I'm just going to go ahead and lay my gift pack. I have it to size now. And I'm going to use an ink pen and kind of just carve like a little line into the foam board so I'll know exactly where to cut. And this makes it way easier when I go in with my razor blade because my razor blade knows exactly where to go. Now you're going to want to make it slightly smaller than your gift bag so it doesn't stick out on the sides or anything like that. So keep that in mind when you're lining it up. Now the trick to cutting these foam boards and not getting like a really raggedy cut is to lay your blade down as flat as you can. So I have my hand as close to the mat as I can, so my blade gives a really smooth cut on the foam board. And that, since I started doing it that way, they cut so much nicer. So I'm going to go ahead and measure this to make sure it's the right size. It looks pretty good. I was wondering what to do with the fold part here at the top. You could leave it. I just noticed there was a piece of cardboard in there, so I just went ahead and popped it out, but it's no big deal if yours doesn't open as easily as mine did. I just removed the cardboard, and then I thought, well, I might as well just cut this off too, just to get it out of the way. It's going to make it Mod Podge to the foam board smoother. So that looks good. Now the secret to Mod Podging this on is you're going to want to cover every surface of your foam board, but you're going to want a very thin coat. Depending on the bag, some of them like to wrinkle a little bit. This one was pretty good. I just made sure to get it everywhere, but again, just a thin coat, so don't go too crazy with the Mod Podge. Once I have it all covered, I'm going to go ahead and line this up. You have a little bit of time to move it from side to side if you need to, and then just smooth it out, trying to get out any air bubbles that I can. I mean, if you do get a few, they will probably kind of disappear on their own within a couple of days, hopefully. And we have it on there. Now you'll notice that I have like the original holes on there for the bag, and I left those on purpose because I thought we could actually make them into hanger holes for the sign, right? So I like to kind of have a finished surface on mine. It kind of gives it more of a canvas texture. So I'm just using Mod Podge, another thin coat on top, and just going side to side, trying to keep that as smooth as possible. I'm going to go in and give that a quick dry. I have to be a little bit careful using heat on a foam board. It does like to melt if you get too close with it, but I've got it pretty good and dry. I do have like a bubble here and there, but again, I think they'll go away on their own. I just use a Cricut weeder, and I'm just poking through the foam board right where the holes were for the sign. And you know what? We might as well just use the hanger. It's red rope, and I don't really have any other red rope to make a hanger, so I just fed it in from the back and replaced the little plastic hanger with a knot to make it look a little bit better. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing here on the other side, and it's plenty long enough to serve that purpose. And we had it, so we might as well use it. But look how cute this turned out. If you wanted to, you could even like cut with your blade on the different pieces of wood to make it look more textured if you wanted to, but I thought it looked pretty cute on its own. I love their gift bags. Sometimes they get some really great things at the Dollar Tree in the gift bags, and great artists. So this is it, my little North Pole Reindeer Games Christmas sign. Now let's switch it up and do some bling. Some of you guys like some gold, some glitter, some sparkle. And they had these great glitter jumping deer signs at the Dollar Tree that are really large that I thought would make a really big, cute decoration. I got the gold glitter one. I thought that was so pretty. And then I also found this frame at the Dollar Tree. I've never seen this before, but it's like a gold metal ring with a frame inside and a base. And I thought that would make the perfect stand to make it look like the deer is jumping. And I can actually use the frame too. It's there, so I kind of have to do something with it, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and peel off the tape here, remove the picture that's inside. And I did design a free printable that I will be sure to include in the description below this video. Just trying to loosen the tabs there on the sides to make it large enough. I printed the printable out on photo paper to make it super sparkly or, you know, shiny like the rest of the project, not the matte finish of cardstock. So I just printed it out on a 5x7, but I designed it 4x4, which is what this frame was. And I'm just going to cut that down. It just says Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. It's got some gold on it, so I thought that would go nicely with it. And I just cut that down to size and slide that right into the frame. Super easy. So it's going to kind of serve as a sign, but it's also going to be a great base for our little jumping deer. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean that up a little bit. It was a little weathered, but not really scratched. So I think it'll be okay. So there's our little Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And then I'm going to attach it. I'm going to have it jumping this way because my sign was scratched a little bit. So I'm going to kind of hide that part on the back. And I was worried that this was going to need more than hot glue, but it actually turned out really well. The little deer is pretty lightweight. It's just thin cardboard covered in glitter. I just propped it up with a little ink pad that I had there. And I'm just going to glue it to the little hoof of the deer and like its body, just to give it another contact point. And I was really kind of impressed that it's so lightweight that it still stands up perfectly. The base works really well. Then I thought it'd be really cute to add some more little fun touches to it. And I have some of the gold jingle bells from Dollar Tree. And I thought we could decorate the little antlers of this little glitter deer and make him even cuter. So I'm just going to do a little dot of hot glue. They have these little round parts on the end of each one of his antlers, which is the perfect size for these little jingle bells. And it's just going to give him another little fun touch. But again, this DIY, so easy. And I will include the printable down below if you're lucky enough to find that same frame. I've never seen that before. I thought it was really pretty. So each antler has a little jingle bell. I thought about doing something around its neck, but I kind of like the simplicity of that gold glitter deer. He's so sparkly and pretty. And this is how he turned out. And he's actually pretty large too. I'm not sure how well this would hold up outside, but it is large enough to go outside. I'm definitely going to keep mine inside the house though. And this is how it turned out. So that frame did a great job of anchoring it. And I didn't really have to construct anything to make a stand. So I kind of liked that. And I always think that you can see the glitter better with video. And so here is the glitter cam. Okay, next DIY. Look at this. Dollar Tree redesigned these signs that I'm always complaining about. They fixed the hanger to make it where you can hang it on the back. And they use nails now. So the back is actually attached and you don't have to like restaple it on. So Dollar Tree, if you're watching, thank you for fixing those signs. I love it. And then I made a printable design and I will be sure to share this with you. I went to AI and I said, I want you to design me a Scandinavian folk art Christmas print, right? But I want it to be like blue colors on a white background, and I want it to be sea creatures. And I thought, there is no way AI is going to come up with something cool. And look at this cool Christmas tree it designed for me. It's beautiful, like Scandinavian folk art style. There's little fish, seashells, little fun touches like that. And I just printed mine out on an 8.5 by 11 regular size piece of cardstock to make it extra sturdy for Mod Podging it onto a Dollar Tree sign. And that sign is about 8.5 inches wide inside the frame. So I just had to trim it down a little bit to get it to fit. I don't care if there is a small border around the side. It has a wood frame, so that's going to be perfect. So this DIY couldn't be any easier. Basically, you're going to print out your printable if you like the cool design, the sea creature Scandinavian folk art. I'm going to put a rather thick layer of Mod Podge on the back of the Dollar Tree sign, and then we can just lay the cardstock right on top. I like using cardstock because you don't get any of the wrinkling with your Mod Podge. It makes everything go so quickly. You don't have to wait for the Mod Podge under it to dry before Mod Podging the top. And it's just so easy. I just pick up cardstock by the ream at Target. Really easy to find as well. And then I just go over the top of it with another layer of Mod Podge, sealing that down, kind of giving it like a painting, a feeling, and a really nice matte texture. I'm using the matte Mod Podge. And we're just going to leave the frame, the wood, that's going to go well with the Scandinavian style. And I was really impressed with AI for making this cool image. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to get, but you can see there's like little fish and there's seashells, and it's just really beautiful. It's Christmas, it's blues. I love this. So I'll be sure to include the free printable below for you so that you can recreate this piece. And if you can't find this sign at the Dollar Tree, you could always put this on just about whatever you have. And this is how it turned out. I told you this one was going to be easy. Look at that beautiful folk art style with all of the little Christmas ornaments and snowflakes, and then a few sea creatures and things thrown in there as well, just for fun. Now for the next DIY, we're going to take a floor mat. This is one of the floor mats from Dollar Tree. It says North Pole Tree Farm. It's got white trees on it, and it's a green rug. I thought this would make a perfect giant sign to go outside my house above my bench to kind of welcome you to our house for the holidays. Now, I do want it to be sturdier than just a thin rug, so I also picked up a piece of the Dollar Tree foam board, and I thought we could attach the rug simply to the foam board to make a heavy-duty sign. And this is kind of under a little eave on my house, but it actually held up to the weather really well. Of course, the rug is very durable and weatherproof, but it pretty much hides the foam board, so I didn't really have to worry about the paper. I just lay it right on top of my foam board and then just use a razor blade to cut that down to size. Easy peasy. This is another 5-minute or less DIY. So once I get that cut down to size, it's just a matter of attaching our little North Pole Tree Farm on there, trying to make sure that it is as flat as I can get it. You know, the foam board does bow a little bit sometimes, so I try to put it on the side that's going to make it lay the flattest. And then we're just going to do a bead of hot glue along the foam board here. Yes, the foam board does kind of melt a little bit, but with the paper covering on there and you work quickly, it does pretty good. So I did 2 rows of hot glue with a little on the side so we can start securing this. And then we can just go down and glue it kind of wherever I really think it's going to need a little bit of structure to keep it on there, and just glue it down. And you have a durable outdoor sign, a really nice size and really pretty. Now, you could leave it as is. I did kind of want to frame mine out a little bit and do like a little ribbon frame, if you will. So I'm just going to use some red and white gingham ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and we're just going to simply frame this out just to bring a little red, and so it'll be red and green for my little Christmas DIY, and just added a little bit of character. So I just cut that down to size, and we're just going to glue this all the way around. Now, you do need to be careful hot gluing the ribbon. Sometimes it can kind of come through and cause a mess, but this one actually seemed to work out pretty well. Just trying to get that as straight as I can before my glue sets up, and then I'm just going to continue that all the way around our giant sign. And you can just kind of overlap the corners a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. And the ribbon is, you know, just a little bit extra. You could always leave it plain with that. I think that would look really cute too. These little rugs from the Dollar Tree though are very versatile. You can always make a DIY out of them. So don't sleep on these. They're really cute. I have got this all put together. Just going to kind of clean up any fuzz off of this with a little lint roller. We're going to flip it over. And again, I used some of the double-sided foam tape from the Dollar Tree to secure this. Now, you might want to use something a little bit more removable because this did kind of stick to my house. The foam tape, it did have a little trouble removing that part, but it definitely kept it up for the entire holiday season. This is how it looks on the outside of my house. I have it like in my entryway area above my bench, slightly protected, but not really. But as you can see, it looks really cute for a giant sign. And it's kind of fun that it's got like that texture of a rug as well. And that's how it looks on the side of my house. Now check out these great water bottles that I found at Target Dollar Spot today. I couldn't believe it. I haven't seen these at all. They were $3 a piece for these water bottles, and I had to buy two because I thought these would make the cutest like little vases for Christmas. I think they're just adorable. So I'm just going to pop off the lids and pop out the straws. I kind of want my boots to have cuffs on them like that, but there's really no way to fill it in with flowers with those, so I'm going to have to kind of replace that with something on my own. Luckily, the stickers are super easy to remove, and I am just in love with these boots. They're so cute. I'm definitely going to be keeping these from year to year. Now, they are plastic, so they're not super heavy, so I'm just weighing mine down a little bit with just some Dollar Tree pebbles just to make them not so wobbly. Now, this is what we're going to fill it with, mistletoe. I picked up 3 of these little mistletoe arrangements from Dollar Tree. It's a nice frosted leaf and like little white berries, super cute. So I have 3, so I'm going to go ahead and cut one up and do half of it in one boot and the other half in the other Santa boot. And these are going to be a little bit lower, so I went ahead and cut those all down individually. The other 2, I'm just going to leave them attached. It's going to make arranging it even easier, and it's going to make it taller. I just kind of need to see how much I need to cut off. And about 3 of the little notches there on the bottom. I'm just going to, can't really cut them with those floral scissors from Dollar Tree, but you can kind of notch them a little bit if you need to. But just wind it back and forth, and you can pop off whatever you need to. So then I can kind of spread these out. I'm going to go ahead down into the pebbles, which also helps me to kind of like arrange the floral arrangement. And I thought these were great. They're not too colorful. I mean, if you wanted to bring some red in, you totally could. But I thought these were really classy looking, these mistletoe. So I went ahead and filled up both faces. So 1.5 of the mistletoe in each one of the little Santa boots. And then I remembered, oh yeah, I did want like little cuffs for the top of the Santa boots. I thought that would make them look really cute. I went and searched my stash, and I can't believe it. I don't have like any stockings or anything. I've used them all in crafting this year. So the only thing I could find that was kind of comparable in my stash was some of this white velvet ribbon that I actually got at Valentine's Day. And so I thought, hey, why not? This will work. It's a little bit too thick. But you don't get very much on a package. I was shocked by that. I had to check the package. I was like, wait, I just opened this. They only give you a yard of the velvet. So I'm going to cut down 2 of the pieces, big enough to go all the way around the boot. And since it's thicker than the lid, I'm going to kind of use that for reference to cut it down a little bit, just to make it skinnier. I don't want to cover up the entire black boot. I just want like a little cuff to the top of the boot like Santa's boot has. So I'm going to cut that down to size, try to get that line as straight as I can, and then use that for reference to cut down my second one. I love this DIY. I can't wait to display this. You know, your girl still has not decorated for Christmas. Can you believe that with all the DIYs I have? You know, my husband was sick on Thanksgiving. He gave it to me and my son, and I was sick forever. I still don't really feel my best. It was nasty. But because of that, I don't even have my tree out of the attic. I just have Christmas decorations everywhere that I've DIY'd, and I feel like I'm in chaos. But the good news is my son is done with finals tomorrow, so I'm going to pick him up from college, and he has promised to help me get everything decorated, everything out of the attic, everything out, and he does such a great job. You guys know he's so creative. He used to give me so many good ideas. So I just attached both of the velvet ribbon cuffs to my little plastic boot with a little bit of hot glue, making sure the seams are in the back. And here they are, our little Santa boots. Who would know those were water bottles, right? They probably should have just sell them as vases because I think they're so cute as that. And this is how they turned out. My little dollar spot Santa boot planter filled with Dollar Tree mistletoe. So cute. I've seen these like for other seasons, but I've never seen the Santa boots there, so I was really excited to find those. Now for the next DIY, I picked up 4 packages of the little 4-packs of gnome ornaments, and then I picked up 2 of the wood bead garlands from Dollar Tree, and I thought we would make a really cute little wood bead and gnome Christmas garland. You know, you could use this for your mantle or, you know, the top of your shelves or cupboards or anything like that. I actually don't have a mantle or fireplace in my house, and so I actually made mine to go over the top of a door, and it actually turned out really cute. So I just tied 2 of them together, you know, making sure they were all continuous. So I just kind of untied the ends. I'm going to leave these ends tied, though. They're going to be the ends of my wood bead garland. And I wish they made these longer because you totally need 2 packages of these to kind of make a decent size wood bead garland. So I'm just going to kind of leave it as is. I think the natural looks really pretty. You could also do it with the white wood bead garland they have strung from the Dollar Tree. That would be really cute too. And these have little string hangers on them already. So I'm going to take advantage of that by just simply double tying those in between the wood beads. And whenever I do a garland like this, I always try to do like an odd number. So I found the very center of mine and I put 1 there. And we're going to use 15 because I always want to do an odd number. So I bought 16. We're going to use 15 of these little gnomes. And so I just counted over like 4 of the wood beads and tied it on. I'm trying to make sure that I'm tying them all about the same height and having them all kind of face away from me just because it was kind of easier to get in there. And the only thing challenging about this was trying to get your fingers in there to tie like that little string just kind of see what you're doing. But otherwise, it was super easy to do. And originally I was going to make these into a like gnome wreath, but then I thought a garland would be really fun. I don't really have anything like that. And sometimes it's fun to decorate the top of your doorways, especially for Christmas. So I actually put this on the top of my doorway going into my garage, and I think it's going to be really fun. You know, Thanksgiving is over, so I can officially decorate and take down my Thanksgiving and fall decor, which, oh, I love my fall decor. But it's time to put up all this Christmas decor. So I went all the way to the end. There's a little bit few more beads on the end, but that's okay because I'm going to need some wood beads there to hang it. And then I just start working in the other direction, skipping 4, tying 1 on, skipping 4, tying 1 on until I get the entire wood bead garland filled with gnomes. And you don't have to do as many as me. I was trying to go like overboard with gnomes. I wanted it to be very Christmas gnomes. I think these look like little Santas, so I think they're adorable. So I loaded mine with gnomes. So this is how it looks. So fun. And this is how it looks hanging on my door. I just used some foam tape pieces on the top of my door ledge to hang the string and kind of sandwich them in between 2 of those on each side to keep it secure. We'll see if that holds it. I might have to put like maybe a stronger hook up there. But we don't really have any tall people in our house, so I don't think that anybody's going to be hitting their head on it or anything. Okay, next DIY. I picked up this cute little burlap Christmas tree at the Target dollar spot. It was only $3, and it's actually pretty cute and nice size. And the bottom's covered in burlap, and I think it looks pretty nice. It's pretty full for what it is. The burlap was a little bit frayed all over, so I'm just going to go in with my scissors and give it a quick trim. We have several of the buffalo check DIYs, and then we're going to switch it up again to another Christmas theme just for some variety. So I got it trimmed up, and my branches look great. I found these little ornaments, mini ornaments at the Dollar Tree that have like the red and black buffalo check on them, a little greenery, some berries, super cute, and I thought 4 would be plenty. I also wanted to do a simple tree topper, and I didn't really have anything small enough, so I'm going to borrow the little pine cone and the little red and black checked ribbon from this ornament from the Dollar Tree. It's a little sleigh, and I usually replace these things anyway or take them out when I go to use those for decor, so I thought I might as well just steal the little bow. So I just took it all apart, trimmed up the bow a little bit to give some cleaner edges, and then I thought that'd be a really simple little tree topper. I'm just going to do a little dot of hot glue to put the little bow right on top. And I just didn't have anything else that was like to the right scale, like star or anything like that. But I thought the bow would be a nice little touch, and it's going to go with my ornaments. And then I'm going to glue that little pine cone that was on there too, just for fun. It's going to give you that woodsy effect. Now the ornaments are little mini ornaments, and they're a little bit larger than the tree, but we're going to modify them a little bit to make them work. But I thought 4 would be plenty. So they already have like the red string hangers on them, so that is good. One step solved. Some of the fabric was a little ratty, which I don't mind too much for this look, but I tried to clean it up the best that I could. And we're going to hang our first ornament on the tree. Now, I thought that my strings were a little too long, so my ornaments were hanging a little lower than I wanted. So I'm just going to tie another knot just to shorten the hanger. Now, when I did that, it did make it a little bit more challenging to get it on the branch, but it made it hang where I wanted it to hang, and so that was kind of more important. So I went ahead and did that. So I'm going to do the same thing here for the other 3 little buffalo check Christmas tree ornaments. And we're going to kind of scatter these. I'm not really going to decorate the back of this tree. I'm just going to kind of do the front and the sides. And we'll pop that one on that branch down there. And I just wanted to decorate this very simply. A cute little $3 tree. I'm not sure, did Dollar Tree Plus have a $3 tree option? I know I bought their $5 tree at Dollar Tree Plus this year, and it is huge and really pretty and flocked. And I'm going to go ahead and attach that. That's the only Christmas tree I have up in my house. We're going to have to leave it up all the way through January since we're so late getting it up, right? I hate being sick and having plans fall through like that. So I went ahead and did the same on all 4. So I'm just hanging them, 2 on the sides, kind of 2 like a little bit lower. And then I did kind of have like a little bit of a hole in the front. And I thought it would look better with like a more odd number of ornaments than an even number like that. But I just took that extra greenery that was on the sleigh and just kind of popped that in there to fill it in. But it still kind of needed something. So I decided to kind of go with that pine cone vibe that we have there with the tree topper. And I went through my pine cone stash, see what I had. And this is probably the smallest one I had from the Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to pop that right in there and see if I like that. And I think that looks really cute. Definitely goes with the theme and helps fill out the tree. I don't have a hanger or anything, so I just do a little bit of hot glue to glue that in place. And it is complete. I'm not going to do like a tree skirt or anything for this Christmas tree, but I think it's really simple and cute, and it's small enough to display just about anywhere. It definitely gives you that like red and black buffalo check feel. And those ornaments are really cute. I love any of the little mini ornaments and stuff like that. Sometimes they have them at Dollar Spot too. I always try to pick some up for some little mini trees like this. But this is how it looks with a little burlap bottom. And on to the next DIY. I wanted to continue that red and black theme, and this is kind of a larger version of that Mary that we used on the Christmas tree sign made out of MDF. This is Dollar Tree Cricut vinyl. And I had somebody correct me in a video recently and said, that is not Cricut vinyl. Well, yeah, I know it's not Cricut vinyl, but you're supposed to use it in your Cricut. So what am I supposed to call it besides Cricut vinyl? And I am going to cover the front of the little Mary sign with that red and black buffalo check. I like to take mine out of the box and store them in the rolls like that. I find it easier to find the patterns and colors like that when I go to cover something with it. Now I cut down a strip of this. I want to cover all of the front of the Mary word with the red and black buffalo check. And I decided the easiest way to do that would be to use a pair of scissors and trace around. Now, I don't know if that was the right decision because even though this project's super easy, I'm just sticking vinyl onto the front of the sign. It did take me a lot longer than I thought it would. And so maybe my technique is not great. So if you have used this to cover something like this before and you have a better method, be sure to share in the comments below. I'm all ears. I love learning from you guys. But I thought this would be the best option. And it was just really hard to get my pen in certain areas. So I had to kind of guess on some areas when I was cutting it out. And I wanted to make sure that I didn't have like too much of the plastic overhanging the edges. So it just involved a lot of sanding and trimming and cutting that I was like, oh, I don't know if this was the easiest way to do this. So if you've done it a better way or you've seen somebody else do it a better way, be sure to help me out. So I just go through with my scissors and I'm just going to cut down everything. I'm trying to cut on the inside of the lines to make it shorter since the pen kind of is the outline, right? So I'm trying to cut all of the pen parts off and just kind of taking my time. This vinyl from the Dollar Tree is not super thick. The pattern's really cute though. I thought that would be the easiest way for me to get red and black buffalo check on there. And it's probably easier to cut than if you had fabric or something like that. But I love that little deer design for the Y in Mary. I think that's so cute. And I thought it would look really cute with the other DIYs that we just did. The only other option I was thinking is that I almost put the whole strip of vinyl on the front, kind of like what we did with the decoupage houses earlier. And then I could have went in and cut it out with a razor blade. I'm thinking that might be a better method. Especially like cutting these inside parts of the letters, you kind of have to fold it and cut it to kind of get in there, which is a little tricky to do, but I went ahead and cut everything down to size. This E like cutout area was kind of a little bit crazy, but I'm just going to speed this way up. It just took me a lot of extra time to cut it out and to sand it and trim it than I really expected. It is a hanging sign, but I'm going to kind of make mine a standalone sign. These do stand up on their own. And I decided the best way to attach it would probably be like one letter at a time. So I'm going to start with the M and try to line it up here the best that I can and try to get it smooth with as little bubbles or creases as I can and trying to get it lined up just perfectly. And smooth that out. And then I'm just going to kind of go one letter at a time, adding that on there, and I did pretty good. And then I was like, you know, I am having like some overlap, so I'm trying to get it on there the best that I can. I did have a few places where I did have some wrinkles, which really couldn't be avoided, but we're gonna make it work. So I put it on there. I tried to smooth it out a little bit with one of those little Cricut scrapers to get it a little bit flatter. And I was a little worried at first, but it actually turned out really cute. So the finger sander is great for small spaces. The only problem is that some of these spaces were just too small. So I was trying to like switch to a razor blade and kind of cut those all down. So I gave a lot of the top there and in between the letters a good sanding, trimming it down, just these little tiny pieces of vinyl that I had a little bit too much on. Just trying to get really clean edges. The only easy parts to sand with the finger sander is like the top and the bottom and the sides, you know, where you can really get in there and sand that down to size. So then I switched up to my sharper razor blade. That did help a little bit, kind of scrape that up against the edges to cut that all off. But again, I'm cutting off little tiny strips where if I had all the vinyl on there, I would be cutting out like a bigger piece. So I think that might have been the easier way to do it. So you'll have to let me know if you've tried it and you found a better way. But I persevered. I did a lot of trimming and a lot of sanding. And I also sanded the front of it to kind of rough it up a little bit to give it a rustic look. And then I thought I would seal it as well. So I'm just going to go over the whole thing with a thin coat of Mod Podge to give it more of a matte finish and kind of seal in that roughed vinyl. I didn't want it to look super perfect. I wanted it to look a little bit weathered. And it does stand up on its own, so all I have to do is pop the hanger off the back to make a little standing sign that says Mary. And it's not perfect, but it turned out pretty cute. So here's our little Mary with the deer head and the red and black buffalo check. You can see how I roughed up that vinyl with my little finger sander, kind of scratching that black, just making it look a little bit more weathered. I kind of like that vibe a little bit more. But a super cute way to deal with those Dollar Tree signs. Okay, the next DIY, so easy. I don't even know if it's a DIY. I found this beautiful gold candlestick at the Dollar Tree, and they had these little red candles that I thought looked really pretty for Christmas. They are actually vanilla and cinnamon scented too. They just have a really great texture on the sides and like a domed top, like it's kind of pointy. I thought it was really pretty, and the candle was just about as pretty as the candle holder. And I thought this would look great with some of that gold bling. And I always like to use a little bit of hot glue just to help keep my candle in place. But that part's totally optional, but you could totally burn this as well. A super easy little Christmas candle DIY using 2 items from the Dollar Tree. Isn't that candle really pretty? I saw that in the regular candle aisle and I thought, ooh, this is going to be perfect for Christmas. And I love that gold candle holder. Look how beautiful that is. Hey, you can see a reflection of me in the, it's so shiny. Isn't that so pretty? And I think that's going to look really pretty with that gold bling. Now for the next DIY, I actually got this little wall shelf at the Target dollar spot. It's wood, it was $5, and it looks like a little Christmas present, and I think it's really cute. And again, I did get this at Dollar Spot last year, but I wanted to show you anyway because I think it's really cute the way that I decorated it. And it would be really easy to put together with like 4 little boxes from the Dollar Tree or somewhere, and just adding a bow to the top. It'd be pretty easy to construct. I found these little snowmen from Dollar Spot at Target too. They were $3 for 2, and they're like a plain wood snowman. How cute are these? And the little white trees were from the Dollar Tree, and then these were the little prop packs for $5 at the Dollar Spot too. And the reason I chose this one is because it had some faux gifts in here. But again, these would be really easy to recreate. You can tell they're just like a wood block. They are painted with ribbon around them. But I found them at Dollar Spot, so I thought, why not? These would be perfect. I was just looking for like miniature things. And this is another prop pack that I got at Target Dollar Spot. And again, I got both of those prop packs last year, but this year they have some really cute ones as well. For this one, I'm going to steal this cute little gnome Santa Claus. How cute is he? Now, Dollar Tree have a very similar one that comes in like a multi-pack, almost exactly the same as that. So you could always get that at Dollar Tree. And then I kind of have to figure out what zone I want where. I was trying to rearrange these to kind of make them look the way that I wanted. I wanted like presents, I wanted Santa, I wanted a snowman, and I wanted a little wintry forest. So I just kind of switched mine around until I kind of got some kind of a game plan here out of all of my pieces. And then for the snow, I'm going to use one of the little microfiber mop heads from Dollar Tree. I love these for snow. They're so fluffy, and you can cut them down. Now, they are a little messy when you go to cut them, so you might need to pull off the excess, but I'm just going to try to cut mine down into little rectangles that I can line my shelves with to give them that wintry touch. You can kind of see what I'm talking about when you cut them. They totally shed. But it's not that big of a deal. You can always kind of pull off your shedded parts. And I'm going to cut those down for each one of our little boxes. I think those look super cute. Now, I use these for snow all the time. You guys, if you just watch my gingerbread video that I just DIY'd, I made an entire shelf in my cupboard out of these. I just love it. It's my favorite kind of snow to make. The only kind of snow I'm going to be seeing around here. Now, here is the little snowman. I'm going to do one little snowman. And the only thing I don't like about these wood ornaments is that you have to paint them. I'd kind of really like them already to be painted. That's one less step. But I just going to paint mine like a traditional snowman. So I painted the body of the snowman white. And we're going to paint his little traditional snowman hat black with some acrylic. And try my best to keep the black on the hat and the white on the snowman, but it was a little challenging there for a second. And he has a little button nose for some reason, so we're just going to make that black too. And then I'm just going to draw on a little snowman eyes with a black Sharpie and a few buttons as well. Now we're going to add this to one of the little tiers. I'm trying to figure out which one. I think that he'll look good up here. And then we can do a little forest with these little miniature trees from the Dollar Tree. So to get them to stand up and not fall over, I'm just using a little hot glue on the little wood slice bases to stand those up by gluing those to the fluff. And look how wintry that is looking so far up there on the top shelf. I'm also going to glue the little snowman in place just because I'm going to hang this on the wall and I want to make sure that, these aren't going to be tipping over all the time or falling out of the little shadow box. And I think that looks so fun and wintry up there at the top. I thought it would be even more fun to make some snowballs. So I'm using some of that white pom-pom garland from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to cut off some white pom-poms to make some little miniature snowballs that we can kind of scatter around because that definitely reminds me of a fun Christmas wintry scene. So in both of those little boxes, I just kind of scatter those around. Here's my little Santa gnome. He's going to look really cute down here. And then we can do our little presents here in the other corner. Again, hot gluing down this one so it does not fall out. And again, those are just red boxes if you wanted to kind of DIY your own presents. I kind of wanted the back one to stand up a little higher so that you could see it. So I just glued a little Dollar Tree wood block to the bottom, and that's going to hide under the fluff anyway. And then I wanted to finish the shadow box off with a sign. So this is one of the little wood belief signs from Dollar Tree, and I thought that would be the perfect finishing touch for this little shadow box. I can go put it right there on the shelf in between. And since we're doing that red and white theme, I'm of course going to paint mine red with a bright red acrylic and a little makeup sponge. And we're going to have a bright red believe sign. Super cute. And I love that saying for Christmas. And I'm just going to kind of lift my fluff up here so I have some wood that I can glue this directly to the wood without all of the fluff getting in the way. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Super cute little present shadow box for your wall, decorated with little Christmas zones. I think it turned out really cute. And even though I got this last year, I don't know if they're going to have these again this year, but they have some really cute items as well. But this is what I did with mine last year. Little snowman scene there at the top. We have our little Santa gnome. Super fuzzy and cute, and of course our little Christmas presents as well. And this is how it looks hanging on my wall for Christmas. I actually had it hanging in my entryway. And now it's time for the final reveal. I really hope you enjoyed the 25 Christmas Dollar Tree DIYs. So today, I hope you got lots of crafting inspiration. Be sure to let me know which one was your favorite down in the comments below. I love reading your comments, and you can find me at Crafty Beach on YouTube on all social media. Enjoy.
Whoa, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh, oh. La, da, da, da. Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But the Christmas is my favorite holiday. It's a chance to start over new. 'Cause I missed you, so I'm letting go of everything but you. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, oh, la da da da, oh, oh, la da da da, oh, oh, la da da da. Making our Christmas memories. I've been wrapping presents for you. I've been hanging marbles in the tree. And I've lit my house with Christmas lights. So you should come back home to me. And when we wake up in the morning, I'm gonna play those carols that you love. We'll be singing all the melodies until the sun comes up. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, oh, la da da da, oh, 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 la da da da. Making our Christmas memories. Yes, these are the good times with you. Don't even care what we do if I spend it with you. Just you and nobody else. It's so good to see you again. To see you again. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare Him room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the earth, the Savior reigns. Let men their songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills, and plains repeat the
bells ringing in my ear. Jingle bell, a sound that's oh so dear. Frosty the snowman is all around town. Watch out for reindeers are falling down. We stay up waiting for Santa tonight. He climbs down the chimney at the speed of light, while we're dancing around the Christmas tree, hugging and kissing just you and me. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day. Oh, a Merry Christmas Day. We're chasing snowflakes as they're falling down, and follow Rudolph all across the town. Later we meet under the mistletoe, while Santa's busy saying ho ho ho. We're feeling jolly, eating Christmas cake, and then we go skating on the frozen lake, saying hi to every friendly face, and later we warm up by the fireplace. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day. Merry Christmas Day. A Merry Christmas Day. Oh, yeah. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as we walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day. Yeah, a Merry Christmas Day. Dancing around the Christmas tree, wishing all a Merry Christmas. Dancing around the Christmas tree, wishing all a Merry Christmas. Dancing around the Christmas tree, wishing all a Merry Christmas Day.
Thank you for making it all the way to the end of today's video. I'd also like to give a huge thank you to all of my Crafty Beach members for supporting my channel. Thank you to Karen O'Haron, Melinda Elizabeth, Jamie Job, Susan Edmonds, Tracy Knight, Janae Farrington, Pamelia Wren, Donna Schreiner, Live Another Day, Maren Christensen, Adrian Brolt, Debbie Middleton, Red Mama, and Donna Tanner. I appreciate you guys so much. Every little bit helps. If you would like to become a Crafty Beach member, all you have to do is hit the join button next to today's video. You're going to get early ad-free access to my YouTube videos. It's $4.99 a month, and you're free to cancel at any time. Okay, would you like some more Christmas Dollar Tree DIYs? Be sure to check out one of these videos right here. And until next time, happy crafting and Merry Christmas.